coded messages that boy's hot or the teacher's boring. Two parents whose kids were in the audience.
Okay.
A lot of ideas are coming and I want to censor them. Daddy, get me this. Mommy, get this. That's God, I got to start early. I got to get as much as possible. Who knows when I'm going to die?
What's up, dreamers who do, and welcome to today's episode of the DD Show, where we get inspiring young individuals to come and share their stories and share their thoughts on different topics and have the most candid and informal conversation possible. In this particular show, basically, I get to hang out with a lot of cool people who are building a lot of cool things in the world. And I think that's a great idea to meet such people, or else I wouldn't have gotten a chance. So that's that about the show. And for today's show, we've got someone very special. He's a friend and a mentor. And professionally, he's an investor, a serial tech entrepreneur, a TEDx speaker, and a TV show host. And if you are among the lucky ones to have seen one of his videos on social media, you'll find a tremendous amount of value. And I swear by it, because I absolutely love his content around entrepreneurship, self-development, and even spirituality.
Means a lot coming from you.
No, it is. It's an honest thing, but it's an absolute love to see the content that you create because it's so much of value and it comes out so consistently that the charm there is totally different. Because being a content creator myself and being consistent with it, the challenge remains there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining in today's
Very
episode.
honored. Very honored to be here.
Awesome. So as I said, very informal and candid.
Sure.
First question I actually had was with your name.
So I was named after Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison's middle name is Alva.
Okay.
So my mother wanted me to be a scientist, so she's like, Alva to Avelo. That's who I am. So.
Have you ever found out any other Avelo around the world?
No, not as a human being, but
not as a human being.
In French,
Achha.
en vélo means on bike.
Okay.
So I've been made fun of by my French friends, but that's about it.
Okay. All right. So you have in your bio that you're a millionaire since 22. For the benefit of the audience, what was the product that you were building at 22?
So when I actually, 2005 was my first year in college, Facebook started, MySpace was going down, and that was the time we came up with the product for girls who wanted to be on social media, but parents were not allowing, legalities were there. So under 13, above 8. They were called the tweens. And for them, it was like an underserved market. Nobody knew. They were not playing with Barbies, but they were not ready for Facebook.
Right.
And we created a social network where they could add friends in the real world with Necklace. So think about Apple Watch 10 years before Apple Watch. So a smart wearable device with which you can think in the real world and you become friends online on social network. And the social network doesn't have any search features, no pedophiles, no cyberbullies. Yeah. It's just friends you know face to face. And once you're friends, you can send messages to each other. You know, it's like your own little circles and coded messages that boy's hot or the teacher's boring. It's all in your circles, only you know what coded messages are. So smart Necklace, girls loved it, parents loved it, and it became a very nice experience for us to build our first business.
Oh, that's awesome. I read, I think in one of your blogs that girls from the 8 to 13 years of age, they influence their parents and to take purchasing decisions. And the
girl pushed, mom approved. $170 billion in the United States. That's how much they spent. Daddy, get me this. Mommy, get this. That's what it is.
And how did you identify this market?
So initially, the idea was to create something for. So we looked at different markets. There were the divorced, parents. They were the military folks who are away from their family. The core value was connecting people who are physically separated but emotionally together. Right? So we looked at senior citizens also, but these girls market turned out to be they're the best buyers. They're the most underserved, and given our tech knowledge, it was the easiest to build something for that market. It was not too complicated. So the quickest way to market and the easiest, that was like the low-hanging fruit. So we went for that.
Understood. And what was your age when you started?
19.
You were 19, right? And what was the drive then to actually, when you're a college student, usually the drive does not really come in to start a company. So what was the drive then to actually think that, okay, I want to start this company and this is what I want to do?
So I always wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
To the point that when I was in class 8, I wrote a letter to Bill Gates saying I want to be a business partner. And he responded back, saying that, okay, maybe when you're an adult, when you grow up, we can talk.
Right.
And the fact that he responded to me was my inspiration. And that was kind of like what I was built to do, like an entrepreneur. I read, I started building my website. So once I reached US, it was not about studies. It was the excuse to actually go for studies.
Yeah.
But I was looking for opportunities to find a business partner, to find the right opportunity. And that happened. That happened very quickly.
Right.
So I ran for elections. Because I just wanted to be seen. Because once I seen that opportunities will see me as well. Right? And once I won the election, the university administration, were known to me. I knew the most smartest students on campus, got them all together, started doing market research, got to a product, and then 4 years in college.
Rest is history,
Yeah.
And so this was the college union elections that you ran for?
Student Senate, yeah.
The Student Senate. Okay. All right. And did you again reach out to Bill Gates after that?
No, I did not. I got too busy actually building a business.
Oh, wow.
And I found myself too stupid to actually reach out to somebody like that. It was like, oh my god, be my business partner.
But then you got a reply from him.
I
and
did.
That's insane.
I don't know. I just felt weird. Like how could I even do that? How could I write to someone like him? But I never had the guts to actually reach out again.
But then I've seen in some of your videos also that you talk about that you should always ask the other person, whoever the other person might be, because you don't know what the reply might be.
That's true. And I have had billionaires mentoring me, but not Bill Gates.
Right.
So people who are in Chicago who I could access easily personally, those were the people who mentored me. And these are people like a person who invented the barcode, somebody who invented the garage opener. They were really celebrities in their own ways in terms of their knowledge, and they were my alumni. So they had an invested interest to help me.
Okay.
So that was wonderful.
Okay. So my question right now is that you were very big on mentoring overall, that how important it is for an individual to have mentors, both students and entrepreneurs and all kinds of people.
Even politicians.
Everyone needs a
Yeah.
mentor. How do you find these mentors for yourself? How do you reach out to them? Because that, even if you're a student, entrepreneur, whatever profession you are in, how do you reach out to them?
So in college, it was more like my professors found me their friends who found me their friends. It's like, if I cannot answer a question, I'll find somebody who can answer. That's kind of like the way. For people in today's generation, it could be LinkedIn.
Right.
LinkedIn is a great way to find anyone.
Right.
You can even get Vijay Shekhar Sharma to mentor you, right? Because he's accessible.
Yeah.
Quora is a great place where a lot of people who are very successful are answering questions.
Right.
So people are making themselves available. And if you say, I need half an hour of your time a month, who's not going to give it to you? And if you're nice to them.
So today I'm going to reach out to definitely all these people.
There is a trick to it.
Okay.
If you write an email or a LinkedIn, it has worked for me and a lot of my mentees.
Yeah.
The subject line is seeking your expert advice.
Yeah.
And when you write the email, don't write your life's history. Write a short email that's like wanting 5 minutes of your time over the phone. Right? So just small ask. Short, because they have no time.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say no when you're a young college student who's ambitious. They see themselves in you and they want to help you.
Makes sense. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Thank you for that tip. It's very valuable for me. All right. So you also, as an individual, interact with a lot of young people in keynote speeches and a lot of other places as well. If you had to define today's generation in 3 words, what would they be? Thoughtful question. That's a great one. It is a googly.
A lot of ideas are coming and I want to censor them.
And since we can't edit this, so we have to wait for the answer.
So if the first word would be extremely intelligent, because the whole world's knowledge is available over Google and YouTube.
Absolutely.
So people are knowledgeable. You cannot fool them.
Yeah.
A little lazy.
Yeah.
I must say. I'm seeing that a lot.
Yeah.
And third thing is a sense of rebelliousness, which can be good and bad.
Okay.
The good thing is rebelliousness in the sense like, don't tell me what to do. But then also find out what you want to do. Right?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like, don't tell me what to do. Okay, I'm watching Netflix.
Yeah. Got it.
Right? So those are the 3 words. Sorry if I'm not very positive.
No. It's very well defined. In fact, I believe we are lazy to a large extent because procrastination is one of the biggest
Absolutely
issues that is
lazy, confused.
Lazy.
But the knowledge aspect is there. So if this group of people want to do something, right, we can do it faster than anybody else.
Yeah.
You know what? Reliance took how much time to be a multi-billion-dollar company? Flipkart was 7 years or 8 years, right?
Yeah.
So we see Zomato, Flipkart, so many billion-dollar companies coming up, and that's going to be 3 years,
right?
You know, and it's going to get shorter and shorter. So we have the opportunity. I just feel bad that a lot of us are not using it.
What do you think is the solution to this procrastination problem? Because a lot of young people will watch this and they'll be probably lazing around and watching this particular video and hoping for inspiration probably. What's the solution that they can actually break that pattern that they've entered into of laziness and procrastination?
Know that you can die any moment. When I was studying in history, I remember about Alexander the Great, and they said he died at 33. And at that time, by the age of 33, had conquered from Greece to India. I was like, where would I be when I'm 33? What do I want to do? And that's when it all started. My tail was on fire. It's like, my God, I got to start early. I got to get as much as possible. Who knows when I'm going to die? And my brother died at 26, just died in his sleep. He didn't wake up.
Okay.
And, you know, that was a shock. And again, that was more in terms of me to like, you know what, whatever I need to do it fast. And that's the reason why I make videos, is because if I die today, the knowledge that I've received from my mentors and my experience doesn't die with me. It is an inheritance to my next generation that they can have access to that. They don't have to waste the time that I did. So they can succeed faster than I did. You know, so that's what keeps me going. And I think any individual, in fact, in our college, we went to actually did an exercise, like write down, close your eyes, and see what your deathbed looks like. Who's around you, right? What do people say about you? That after you're dead, what does that, you know, speech look like? Yeah. Write it down. And when I wrote that, I was like, my God, what do I want people to remember me for? I like traveled 60 years, 70 years down the line. I don't know how long I'll live. But the point is, it made me think. And that death is one thing that keeps me going. Like, I never know what can happen. So let me do it now, not tomorrow.
I think that gives a lot of perspective to me also. Because I personally had never thought it that way. So thank you for sharing that.
Most welcome.
That does give me a lot of perspective. I'll move to the next question. I really love one of your videos that we'd also posted on our platform, which is where you're talking about the education system. And you're alongside professors and you're saying that how...
Actually, there were two parents whose kids were in the audience.
Okay. Okay.
And a professor on there.
That's even better. So, Avelo was talking about basically how the education system does not give a lot of practical knowledge to any individual and how it's just mugging up and vomiting it out on the paper and the basic problems of the education system. Now, my question to you is that if you were made the HRD minister, let's say, for a day or a month, what are some of the changes that you'll make in the education system?
I would make sure every kid gets to read Think and Grow Rich and Bhagavad Gita. Okay. These two books will be primary. So it's not just what's in the books, because what's in the books is 200 years old.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I would make sure that practical knowledge, soft skills are given. People don't know how to speak. If you look at Indians, we don't know how to sell. Business development, it's so hard to find salespeople who are not sleazy, who are actually relationship-oriented salespeople. That art of relationship, the art of conversation, even writing an email. Right. I don't find even PhD is able to write properly. So they have all this talent, but they cannot express, right? And that's a huge problem. Right. So teaching people skills and really finding out who you are. Right. I was very fortunate to go to a school where they did a assessment to find out who I would become when I grow up, according to my psychophysical nature. And although we did act on it, but I see that that's who I've become. I was like, I'm going to be a marketer. Turned out I am very good at marketing.
100%.
So, but I did engineering, coming from a Bengali family. But the thing is...
Coming from Bengali, got it. Understood the background, just line.
So I would help students become who they're meant to be, not what their parents want them to be. So very early on, doing assessment for them and really pushing them in the direction where they get their math and science knowledge, but they also become, if they're meant to be photographers, if they're meant to be musicians, if they're meant to be, talk show hosts, whoever they're meant to be, they should get those skills from industry experts, not professors and teachers. Unfortunately, in today's world, teachers teaching job is not the most high-paying job. It doesn't attract the best talent.
Yeah.
And if you couldn't make it in the industry, unfortunately, you become a teacher or professor. No hard feelings to anyone out there. There are wonderful teachers and professors out there, but most aren't.
Yeah.
And they take out their anger in their classrooms, or they just don't care. Yeah. And that's the country's future you're talking about. Thousands and thousands of us who are just have no clue because the teachers have no clue. Because the system has no clue.
Yeah.
So without purpose, where do you go? Nowhere. Everybody's going to engineering, I'll also go. Everybody gets an MBA, I'll also get an MBA. Yeah. Am I meant to be? No. Could I be somebody amazing? Some field that I don't even know exists?
Yeah.
Maybe. So that exposure, really giving them what they need to be and who they're meant to be.
Yeah. And do you feel that you've studied from outside India as well? So you feel that the education there does give you all the exposure that you require?
Absolutely. My most learning was outside classrooms, right? Running for elections, I am an introvert, but speaking public,
you're an introvert.
I'm an introvert. Trust me when I say it.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. If I don't know people and I'm in a crowd, I'm not talking to anyone. I'm just looking down, looking at my phone. That's who I am.
Okay.
But if I know people, then I open up.
You're the last person I thought would be an introvert. Just saying. Last person.
And it took me a lot of effort to go out and speak. I could literally, in my first speech I was sweating. My heart was pounding here in my throat. I could hear the blood flowing through.
Yeah.
And when I did it and people clapped, I'm like, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah.
And thereafter pitching for my business to investors and just doing something that I hate doing over and over made me an expert in that field in one sense.
Makes sense.
So I forgot the question where you started.
So the question was around education system itself. Outside
India. Yeah. So outside India, I was part of like 11 organizations, from spirituality to public speaking to politics to law, and all that learning. Trust me when I say this, came in so handy later on in my life.
Absolutely.
Something I learned there came in handy here. Something I heard there came in handy here. Just exposing my mind to so many different voices. That was amazing. Not saying I could retain everything, but little jack of all trades kind of thing, and it helps a lot.
It does help a lot, especially if you can gain all those skill sets while you're in college.
Absolutely.
And even if you're in college in India, if you, let's say, participate in such societies or clubs or and take leadership roles per se, then
every
also,
college is a college fest. Every college has debates.
Exactly.
Keynote speakers are coming in and just talk to them, get internships, work with them, learn from them.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Absolutely. Beautiful. When are we seeing some Hindi content on your channel?
I am trying every week, but my crew just keeps laughing and falling apart when I speak in Hindi. So it's going to happen soon.
Do you want to try some?
Sure.
I'll ask you the last question. You answer that in Hindi.
In Hindi.
One final piece of advice that you can give to everyone who's watching, but in Hindi.
So.
No pressure at all. We are just practicing right now so that we can build more content later.
So, हमको जानना है कि हम कौन है. Without knowing oneself, it's difficult. So, it's okay to not know, but पहले हमको discover करना है, expose करना है हमारे mind को. So, we need to get experiences, get internships, projects, वगैरह, whatever helps you to find out what all is out there. कुछ चीज़ ऐसा होगा which will make you, wow, that's quite exciting. I like doing it. And you will not be able to stop doing it from, like, कैसे stop करूँ? It's like keeping me awake. When you find that, that's that aha moment, right? And you do more and more of that. So the journey of self-discovery is very important. So in a research, they generally 50% time is spent on problem solving. कि problem क्या है? And the 50% is actually finding the solution. तो आपको find करना कि क्या life का क्या problem है जो आप solve करना चाहते हैं. आपके life में क्या वो passion है? For me, entrepreneurship is to make people smile. When people smile, मुझे लगता है कि I can die today and I'm a happy man. And that's the focus of my life. So what is that in your life? When you find that and you can express, so one of the few skills that I keep repeating is लिखना और बोलना. आपको अगर बोलना और लिखना नहीं आता है, प्रैक्टिस कीजिए. And practice कीजिए by looking at people who can do it well on YouTube. It's accessible to you. TED Talks.
Yeah.
They're so good. Watch Steve Jobs, how he presents the iPhone, the iPod. I've learned presenting from Steve Jobs without ever meeting him. Right? So it's not Hindi 100%.
No, that's great. I mean, the point being, it has to be conversational Hindi instead of pure Hindi. शुद्ध वार्तालाप हमें
But it's never going to happen.
Conversationally Hindi में English चलेगा. But धन्यवाद. आप मेरे शो में आए. It was a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for providing so much of value to
you inspire me a lot, just so you know.
The inspiration, I mean, it's so mutual. And that every time I see your video, it's something new that I learn all the time. Every time.
So much.
Go check out all of Avelo's social media channels. You'll find a tremendous amount of value. And once again, it's been such an honor.
Same here.
Thank you so much.
Here. Thank you.
We'll call off the talk show. This was the first one. Soon, many more coming. Avelo Roy is a bubble of knowledge and experience and is so driven to share the value with the people around him. His acumen in business, insight in spirituality, and overall perspective to life inspires us to do more with our own lives. As Avelo says, get exposure so that you become aware about who you really are, and that will allow you to solve some problem somewhere in the world, hence making the world to be entirely yours.